He's fighting bigger guys.
Yeah, he is fighting bigger guys. So, but my point being is, we don't know how much bigger Canelo really is to him, because we don't know how much weight he loses to get to 47, or how much he was losing to get to 140. So, me personally, I think that this is going to be a good fight.
Two things that I wanted to ask you about. What can he gain? First of all, explain to me why the Kell Brook fight was an off night for you. Put in layman's terms.
Oh man,
whatever.
It's that is plain.
Why can't he gain anything from that?
Plain and simple. Why can't he gain?
Keith, from watching.
Here's what you saw when I fought Kell. You saw me just believing that I was gonna knock this guy out. I came off of a big win against Paulie Malignaggi, and even though I told myself I wasn't believing the hype and all that kind of stuff, yeah, I went in that fight literally thinking any second, any punch, any time now, round after round after round. You didn't see me make any adjustments. You didn't see me change anything at all. You saw a straight ahead fighter, not using this jab, looking, even people thought that I won. I thought that I won, and then I thought that I looked ugly. You know what I mean? So I think that yes, he can see things that he can do against me from watching Kell Brook, but this will not be a Kell Brook type of performance for me.
It's interesting that you say that, because Diaz said the exact same thing. He said the reason that you will win is because you are not a stationary target and you're complicated. You use the word complex.
Yeah.
So I, as a reporter, I know you have a lot of ability. But against you, he said he was against him. You were complex.
I remember points in that fight when I fought Diaz in the rematch that it got to him that he couldn't get to me. It frustrated him. I remember him also being very professional, where it would get to him, but he would mainly continue to try to get to me and continue to try to work and beat me. I learned from that first fight against him. I learned from the fight against Kell Brook. I look at that fight and I just shake my head like, wow, like, you know better than that, It's the kid I stood in the corner. When you're a kid, you do something wrong, you stand in the corner, and then you do the same thing wrong, and you stand in the corner again. I just was standing in the corner of that fight instead of doing what was asked of me in the corner, and what I should have been doing, which was being smart, thinking on my toes, making adjustments. I didn't do that.
How badly do you want to fight him?
I want to fight him just to get that win, to prove to everyone else that you didn't see the right Shawn Porter that night. I know it for myself. I know that I wasn't as good as I could have been, and I'm okay with it. I don't accept defeat, but I'm okay with what happened, because I learned from it, and I know not to allow that to happen again.
You go over there to do it again?
Heck yeah. They fill up. They pay and they fill up the stadium. I love that. Yeah.
Do you see that people don't seem to be calling out that fight for you? It's almost like if you fight this fight, that's over. Nobody really cares.
You know what? After that fight, I was told we're gonna move on, and we're gonna treat this as if it didn't happen, and we'll pick up where we left off. And yeah, of course, my dad. And it seems to be that way. It seems like ever since that fight, the recognition, the fame, it's all gotten even better. I still have people out there who ask me if I'm going to rematch him. I want to rematch him. That's up to boxing and everyone else who calls the shots to make that fight happen. But people are not like, we need that fight. We don't want to see Keith Thurman. Like, people are really looking forward to this fight, and I love that, and I'm humbled by it.
Shawn, new label to both of you guys as really cerebral. Can we expect an all-out brawl or more of a chess match?
We're gonna see. I'm prepared to do it all. I know Keith is as well. We're expecting Keith to move. And try to outbox me and try to hit me on the move. That's what we're expecting. So we'll see what happens.
Potential for Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas Henry type of fight, just in terms of making adjustments over the course of the fight. Might not being a boxer at one point, not being a puncher, different things like that.
I mean, I expect to hit him, back him up, and continue to go after him. And I'm sure he's expecting the same, man. This is this is a fight that, you know, I played out differently in my mind, a lot of different ways, you know, be on top every time. But I have to respect the fact that I have someone against me who can do the exact same things that I can do. He can box with speed and power. He can move and get you off balance and do all that. I know that I have great feet and I can move with him and cut him off and all that kind of stuff. This is gonna be a great fight.
Do you expect? I mean, not expect, but do you expect? I guess is the right word. At some point, to get hit with a good, solid punch, one of his best punches, or is that something as part of your strategy, you're trying to avoid?
I've tried to put that out of my mind that he can't hit me. You know, you take a look at my last fight with Bronson. No clean punches until the last round. Please. I have to duplicate that, minus the last round. You know, I have to be that good, that great on defense at every point in this fight, and I know that I can do that. I proved that to myself before this fight, so I know that I have that in me. That's why we take fights the way we take fights, so that we can learn, improve things for ourselves.
My last question is, one thing Diaz pointed to was your inside game, and he brought up the Broner fight. Is that something that you think Keith hasn't seen?
Keith has seen in a fight that he hasn't seen. No, guys haven't stood up to him. Guys have let him dictate what happens in the ring. Guys have allowed him to be the aggressor.
Other than Collazo.
Other than Collazo, but even Collazo, for the most part, backed up until he, you know, there were points where he said, hey, I got him on the ropes, I got to step to him. And when he stepped to him, what did he do? He had success. You step to Keith, you have success. I think most guys are weary and leery and worried about his power, and so they don't step to him. But the good part about it is I'm not afraid to step to Keith. I'm not afraid to outbox him, and I can do it all. God bless you, man.
Stop, I'm ready. You know, Shawn, Keith kind of said the opposite what you said before with the whole not trying to kill your opponent thing. Not that he meant it literally, but he said, you know, when you sign a contract, that's a death contract. Yeah. And that, that he sees it as that was like a contract to kind of, you know, put the friendship to an end.
Yeah,
You know, so that's what he's going in there for, is to, you know, he doesn't see it. Did he set the tone by telling you as the president right there, you know, he's going for the knockout?
I think he set the tone. I mean, I've been serious about this fight. I think the public views us as friends. I don't really view us as friends. I view us as competitors, you know, and I think that's the kind of mindset to have. But I think he pushed it even further, you know, by saying, hey, I'm going to knock you out. Now I got to do what? Now I got to knock you out, you know what I mean? So this is going to be great.
Do you think people were maybe worried that this could have been like a Shane Mosley out there, or you have two friends fighting each other kind of thing, not turning out so well? But now that he set the tone officially, like you're going in there for blood?
No. I think both. I think people know us both. They know that we're gonna compete. We're gonna be respectful. You don't appreciate that, whatever. You're gonna miss something. If you don't appreciate two guys who are friends, respecting one another, and getting in there and doing what we do,
that's the best you can ask.
Then you've missed out on something great. But if you respect that and you know that that's happening, you tune in June 25th and you'll still get what you want to see from two great fighters.
I don't know if it was just the high of the moment, but, you know, after Spence out here, he was very, you know, praiseful of Spence and his abilities, and saying that once Thurman Porter happens, that they would have to look down ringside and see Spence, you know? So, what do you feel about his performance? And you know, people are kind of saying he's going to be like, you know, that most dodged bullet at the 147-pound division.
I don't think he's going to be a dodge bullet. I think that he's a very good fighter. I've said this numerous times. Everything about him is, in my opinion, is good. It's very good. And he's southpaw. You know, guys have problems with southpaws. I don't. But obviously after this fight, me personally, I want to look to unify. I want to look to go after that WBC title. That's something that I want. You know, so
speaking of which, you know, he hit you up on Twitter. Andy Garcia.
Yeah.
Did you give him a response, or do you have any response for him? He said he's gonna show you that heart. That you
No. I knew what he said. When my friend read the tweet to me, I said, all right, here we go. You know, because that's what I want. I want to fight you. I don't want to, you know, if that's what it takes for me to fight you, call out your heart and make it personal, then I guess that's what I have to do, you know. But I know his dad made it clear some while back that they weren't really looking to fight the best of the best, but I want to unify. So after this fight, I win the title, WBA. I'm looking forward to getting that WBC, IBF, something like that.
I know that Keith was saying, pretty much that Algieri was a 140-pounder. He beat 140-pound guys. He never beat a welterweight. So how good of a measuring stick do you think he was for Errol Spence? Algieri is tough.
I honestly, no disrespect to Algieri, but I didn't think that he was a big test or anything like that for Errol. I knew that Errol would beat him. Errol beat him down, which was very impressive. But I didn't expect anything less from Errol or from that fight. Yes, Algieri is a one-time 140-pounder and is now a 147-pounder fighter. But in his last 3 fights, he has not looked to be that great, that good. And even in winning the title against Provodnikov, he went through the fire to get that title.
Which was more impressive, your defeat of Paulie Malignaggi or Spence and Algieri?
Ask the public.
Be an objective.
Ask the public. Ask the public.